Hi guys, my name is Bosco and I'm a registered nurse. I recently took my Nclex in Johannesburg and I passed at 75 questions. So today I want to tell you a little bit about the materials that I feel are a must read for everyone who is preparing for the Nclex. What you're seeing is my picture here when I'm in Johannesburg, and I think here I was about to take my NCLEX, just I think like the next day. So let's go straight away to the point. What materials do you need to read? What are those materials that are a must read before you attempt that exam? That's what we are going to look at today, and welcome to this video. Okay, so first of all, materials for content. You understand as an Nclex taker that you really have to be good at your content. One thing I have to caution you about is that the NCLEX exam is really vague. So once you look at a question, you look at the options and you really can't even tell what option to choose. For most of the exam, that is how it is. So you really to be firm, you have to have a strong content knowledge so that it can give you a firm basis for decision on which choice to make as your answer. So you need the following materials for content. Number one is that I have chosen the Saunders content review book. This is a good book, above 1,000 pages. You will have to take your time, sit down and read it. Read it from cover to cover so that you can be able to master the content. It's actually a refresh of what you studied in nursing school partly, but also many new concepts that regard the NCLEX. You know, the NCLEX has a lot of things that are asked which were not part of nursing school training. Okay, so the Saunders content book is a good material. Get it, read it as first thing before you attempt any questions. And the next book that I feel you have to read before attempting the NCLEX is what is normally called, or what is commonly called, LaCharity. And this book is called Prioritization, Delegation, and Assignment. This book is very nice to help you answer questions on prioritization, delegation, and assignment. Remember, nurses, this prioritization, delegation, and assignment takes almost like 25% of that exam, and sometimes you will feel like this exam was all about prioritization, delegation, and assignment. So you really need to master what is presented in this book. And if you've done it well, and that will be so good. Questions like what should you give, what assignment should you delegate to an RA, to an LPN, to unlicensed assistive personnel? All these questions, their approach is clearly given in this book. So it's a very important tool for you to look at. Then after you've read those books, those materials, it's time to answer questions. I would really recommend that you start with simpler questions that will finally initiate you into the more difficult questions, okay? So begin with a material like this one. The Saunders guys have already made a book with so many questions. that can help you to review the Nclex. And this book, uh, commonly known as Saunders Q&A, is a very good one. I remember I read all the pages, and it really gave me a firm knowledge, because they also have good rationales, and they give you the answers in a friendly way, okay? So you can be able to um, know how to approach the questions. Then after you've answered that, come to the more difficult things, come to Uworld. Now says here you will have to spend some little bit of money. I think Uworld, they have several options, but if you want the package that will serve the purpose, you can spend like $200. That will be enough for you uh, to assess yourself, to get the full package of questions, to get all the assessment tests, which are usually two. And UWorld has great rationales. They have great questions that give you that feel of the real NCLEX exam. Though I still feel that Uworld was somehow simpler to the NCLEX. Though many people will say, oh, Uworld is harder than NCLEX. No, no, not at all. The NCLEX is quite harder, because you remember you are dealing with a computer. So once you answer the simple question, they will give you a more difficult question. So that's how the exam appears harder. Yet with UWorld, you are dealing with a constant number of questions. So on UWorld, some questions actually have answers that look obvious, but on the NCLEX, all the options are vague. However, UWorld has um, UWorld has a shorter UWorld has longer questions, whereas the NCLEX has short questions. Okay, so with UWorld, you can read all the rationales. Please don't be tempted not to read the rationales, because it's very important. Once you attempt the question, read the rationale as well, so that that will give you, it's also a kind of a way to get the content very clearly, because their rationales are usually long and they give good content, and there is a lot of repetition and diagrams, so that you can be prepared well for the exam. So for what about for tips? Okay, there are also those must use materials for tips. Now this is not must read, but must use materials for tips. Okay, and this is Mark Klimek. Yes, this great guy. He really has that intellect, the warmth and humor in his audio clips that I really like. I used to listen to Mark K, I think when I'm washing, when I'm there doing something, when I'm anytime I'm relaxed, I'm traveling, I used to listen to his audio clips, and they really helped me a lot with useful tips. So I wasn't really out of ideas regarding question approach. So there are 12 in number, and they are already available. I think even on Google Drive, they are already available. Just contact me if you need them in the email that I have put down here below, so that I can send them to you if you need them, and for any assistance. So that is, I feel those are the materials that you really need to read in order to pass the NCLEX exam. Read them religiously, read them without having pity upon yourself, and I believe with that you can really pass. So thank you for listening, guys. Thank you for coming to my channel. Remember to subscribe. Remember to like my video if you found any value in it. And remember to comment, ask me any questions that you have, and I'll be very glad to help you. So also remember to contact me on this email so that I can help you with anything that you need. For all future takers of the Nclex exam, I really wish you well. Success, guys. Bye bye for now.